most respect for since knowing him and working with him as my great mentor for 6 years now, and that is none other than Mr. Walter A. Smith IV. And Mr. Smith is an industry icon for over 25 years, filled with so much knowledge and skills and wisdom. He travels around the country and international, training and coaching and mentoring team members, everything they need to know to become more successful entrepreneurs. And he's built a huge international organizations into the tens of thousands, creating so much success for countless of people. And this morning, he's going to show you exactly what you need to know and need to do, what's important now in order to have a great success and another chance for you to relaunch your business as well. And get your pen and notepad ready to take copious notes. Log on to our webinar platform, project100krevolution.com, and receive great information to help you reach your results that you're looking for. And with that, family, I want to bring on to you a phenomenal leader, my mentor, my coach, my good friend, Mr. Walter A. Smith IV. Mr. Smith, the line is now yours, sir.
Ms. Galera, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Please take it away.
I appreciate you so much, ma'am. I love the energy and definitely appreciate that introduction this morning. You know, one of the things that I love so much about yourself is you're so humble, having so much success in this industry, building a large international and national organization, done it several times yourself. I can't say enough about you. Just appreciate that warm introduction. And for the entire family that's on the phone, just want to say welcome to this Getting Started Right call. Again, my name is Walter A. Smith IV, as Ms. Galera said, and it's just my privilege to be here to share some information with everybody that's on the call today. You know, one of the things that I know that's so important in this industry, and because we have such an incredible compensation plan, the #1 compensation plan in the entire industry, because we have products that are just incredible, it's not hard to build a team in this business with this company. You know, one of the things that's easy really is getting someone on the products, getting someone's family member to ask them what they've been doing to either lose weight or they look healthier, and for them to recruit somebody. That's really the easiest part. That's the first step in this business. The next step is really, what do I do next? How do I get somebody started right? And as Ms. Galera said, make sure you have a pen and a pad out, because I'm going to tell you, in this industry, leaders, and if you actually plan on recruiting somebody into this business, if you have already recruited somebody, guess what? You are a leader and you're on your way to true leadership in this industry. So what leaders always do is they always take notes. That's the first thing leaders do. They take notes. They don't just take those notes so they sit in their notebook somewhere or sit up on the shelf. The second thing they do is they study those notes. So they take notes, they study those notes, and then more importantly, they implement those notes. So if you take that with this mindset that you're going to take these notes, study them, and implement them, I'm telling you, you can set your organization on fire. And one of the hardest things to gain in network marketing is momentum. That's the hardest thing to gain and the easiest thing to lose. And the reason that's so is because so many people get involved in this industry, and you hear the stories about people that get involved and they don't have the success they want to. Well, let me tell you the 2 reasons that people don't have success in this industry. The first is they were never told what to do. And in so many cases, your friend, your cousin, your uncle signs you up for the business, or maybe even somebody you don't know, and they just don't have the knowledge to teach you. They're not plugged into the knowledge to teach you how to have success. So the first reason that most people don't succeed is because they were never told what to do. And I remember years ago when we started New Global Dynasty, we made it a pact that no one who ever joins our team will ever be able to use the excuse that they didn't know what to do. That's why you're on a call like this morning. That's why you have people like Ms. Galera sacrificing at 8 o'clock in the morning, where she is right now, to get on these calls to make sure that we're just sowing into the individuals that want the information, so the excuse can never be said that they weren't given the information. The second reason that most people fail in this industry is that they were told what to do, but they never did it. So they were told what to do, but they just didn't do the things that they were shared to do. Okay? So remember, take notes, study your notes, and implement your notes. And if you implement the things that we're getting ready to share with you today on the 4 steps of getting started, I'm telling you, you can have incredible success. You can create momentum in your organization, a type of momentum that you couldn't stop if you wanted to. So why 4 steps? Why do we have a system? And I always use this analogy because I truly believe this really paints a picture. It helps you get in the mindset of understanding why I need to do these steps. And I'm a true believer that if a person understands why they're asked to do something, they're more prone to do it. So I want you to think about these 4 steps as the system. The system, and write that down, the system. And the acronym for system is save yourself some time, energy, and money. System. One of the things about systems is that systems don't fail, people fail. Okay? So this is a system for success. And I want you to think about it like this. You are the owner of your own international business. And as you bring new people onto your team, those are like franchisees, okay? They're also independent business owners of their own international business. Now, we all understand that when a person buys into a franchise, they buy into, more importantly, the system. Chick-fil-A is going to be the same in Virginia as it is going to be in California. McDonald's is going to be the same way as it is here in Virginia as it is in Hong Kong. The system stays the same, and the system is what creates success. And I want you to think about this. If you think about McDonald's right now, right? You think about going into McDonald's. Where is the shake machine if you're looking at the counter? The shake machine is always on the right-hand side. Where's the fry machine? It's always on the left-hand side. You see, McDonald's understood it. Ray Kroc understood this a long time ago. You know, McDonald's might not have the best hamburgers in the world. You know, their chicken might not even be real, right? We don't even know. We've heard the rumors about the French fries. Those might not even be real. But we know that they've been one of the #1 franchises for years because they have a duplicatable system that creates success no matter where they put up a McDonald's. And one thing I want you to think about when you think about the system, if you go into McDonald's and you go through the drive-thru and you come back in with your French fries and say, all these French fries are cold, guess what? They can go right back to the system because there's a system that says how long the fries should be up once they come out the heat, once they come out the oil, right? So we know that right there alone, somebody's not doing something right. Somebody let the fries stay up just a little bit too long. If you get your fries and they're too salty, that means that somebody put too many shakes of salt. So we can go back to the system and say, what does the system say in order to have consistency across the board? You know, if somebody didn't make the cheeseburgers right, or if it's a little pink in the middle, that means they didn't do something right within the system. So when you become system dependent, you can always go back and correct any activity. You can actually guide your organization where you want it to go, and that's why the system is so important. So we don't just do the things that work in this industry. There's 1,000 different ideas, 1,000 different ways to do things. We do the things the way it will duplicate. And if you notice the thing about McDonald's, it doesn't matter if you're 18 or if you're 81. The system's designed so everybody can win. So let's jump right into our 4 steps. These are the things, as a new distributor, you're new on this call right now, these are the things that should be happening with you. So as you take these notes down, as you notice, hey, maybe I did get this step and I did get that step, but I didn't get this, what you want to do is you want to get back with your sponsor. You want to say, hey, I was just on an incredible call this morning with a New Global Dynasty family, and everybody who's on this call is part of New Global Dynasty. I want to welcome you. Everybody plugs into this system. Hey, listen, sponsor, I was on the call. They went over the 4 steps, and I noticed I didn't get one of these steps. Can we do that? As a sponsor who's on this call, you're taking these notes so that if you brought somebody on board, and let's say you forgot a step, that's okay. You can go back and do these steps. But if you do these steps, duplicate these steps, I'm telling you, you're going to have success. One of the facets of this call, this is like a mentorship call. And mentorship is nothing but wisdom without waiting. And if you plug into these things, what you can do is have success without having the mistakes. You can plug in to the wisdom that's on the call. And these 4 steps, we've used these steps for years and years. We've built incredibly large organizations using these steps and getting everybody in alignment with these steps, okay? So let's talk about the first step within our system. Step number 1 is become a product of the product. Become a product of the product. So when you get started in this business, one of the first things we want you to do is become a product of the product. So let's just say you're at the end of a wow party. You've made a decision to come on board at the $5.99 pack, okay? You've done your application. They've put you in the system. They're actually going to go over some training, and this training is taking place right now after the WOW party. So we're going to go to the first step, which is become a product of the product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to my new distributor right there, and I'm going to go to step number one within step number one, if that makes sense, which is buy 3 packs of tea from your sponsor. So I'm going to sell 3 packs of tea to my new person. Now, I know sometimes what happens is we get a little nervous. We feel a little reluctant at asking somebody to spend more money because they just came on at $5.99 or they just came on at a $1,600 pack. But when you don't do this, you set your person up for failure. Okay? The reason that we sell our new distributors 3 packs right as they come on board is for 3 reasons. Okay? One is we want them to consume. We want them to be able to drink the product themselves. Now understand that your product's going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 business days to get to you, and we don't want a person waiting because the first 72 hours that a person comes on board are the most important hours after a distributor comes on board, the first 72 hours. So the first pack of tea that we sell them, and we sell these packets of tea to them at what we purchased for them. We don't sell it to them to make a profit. We sell it to them at wholesale. So the first one is to consume. We want them to go home tonight. We want them to start making their tea so they can drink it as soon as possible. So the first reason is so that they can consume the product. The second reason is so that they can resume their business. What do we mean when we say resume their business? We want them to be able to go out with those other 2 packets of tea and be able to give those packets of tea to 2 individuals that they're thinking about that they want to partner with them. One of the things that I love so much about our product is we have products that you can sample. Oh, you mean give free product away? Absolutely. You have to think about it like this. Those samples that you give away are like seeds. And again, let me go back to a franchise analogy. How many times have you been walking through the food court of a mall, and there's a Chinese food restaurant on one side, and they're giving out samples of the bourbon chicken, and on the other side there's a Chick-fil-A, and they've sliced up a couple patties of the chicken, and they're giving out little samples on a toothpick, right? And you take those samples, and you walk 5 steps away, and then you turn around and say, you know what? That tastes good. I think I'm going to get that bourbon chicken, or I'm going to get that Chick-fil-A sandwich, right? They cut up that one patty and gave out samples, but all the other people that came back and ordered, that was the harvest. So the seed was a piece of chicken. The harvest was them coming back to get the order. And you have to ask yourself, what's bigger? Is it bigger to give away the seed or to receive the harvest? And it's always the harvest. So the first packet is for them to consume. The other 2 is for them to resume. We want them to give those as samples to 2 individuals that they're thinking about that they want to partner, okay? So those are the first 2 reasons. The third reason is we want our new distributor to have an experience, to create a testimony as soon as possible. You see, all we do in this industry is we collect stories. You see, when you were growing up, your parents didn't tell you bedtime facts. They told you bedtime stories. So the facts tell, but the stories sell. And one of the things I love about this company and what we have is our products, we have, oh my goodness, so many different stories of individuals trying the tea and losing 5 pounds in 5 days. And even if it's 4 pounds, I remember I was in Panera Bread one day and I was doing a presentation, talking a little bit louder than I normally do because I wanted to gain people's attention. And after the presentation, a young lady walked over to me and said, did you say something about losing weight and drinking tea? I said, absolutely. Do you anybody you know like to lose 5 pounds in 5 days and earn maybe an extra $1,000, $3,000 in income? She said, listen, I would love to lose some weight. So I gave her a sample of the tea. This is a story now, so you should be writing this down so you can use a story. I gave her a sample of the tea. I told her I'd follow up with her in 5 days. In 4 days, she called me back. She said, listen, I've already lost 4 pounds with this tea and have not lost any weight since high school. Where can I meet you to buy some more? So I gave away the seed, right, and I got the harvest. But I also have a story now of someone who drank the tea and received some benefits. And you want the same thing from your new distributor. You want a story from them. It's going to do a couple different things for you. It's going to give you another story as you're sharing this information with other people, but it's also going to buy in. It's also going to be an emotional buy-in for them to the product, that the product works. And the more people that you can have say, listen, the product did something for me, what you'll find is even if a person doesn't build a business, they'll still continue to buy the product. Okay? So we talked about the 3 reasons. The first one is to consume. The second one is to resume. Then I always like to talk about that testimony. Get a testimony from your new distributor within the first 24 to 48 hours. Even if it's moved them regularly in their bowels, that's a testimony, and we want those testimonies, okay? So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your new distributor is on the proper auto ship. Proper auto ship. And I call auto ship as nothing but product replacement. That's what it's product replacement. And if you think about this, again, let's go back to that franchise analogy. McDonald's, right? They have auto ship. They have a truck that comes every week, every 2 weeks that brings them more bread, more cheese, more hamburgers, right? They make sure they're restocking their product. Well, one of the things that you want to explain to a new person is that, first of all, when they set their auto ship up, when they come on board, it's not going to come out for another 30 days, okay? For another 30 days. So they want to go ahead and set that auto ship up. Also, what our company says is, listen, in order to be active, you have to have a monthly order, okay? So the auto ship just makes sure that that monthly order comes to you on a timely basis. Because what can happen is if you don't have an order during that month, several things can happen. First of all, any purchases that come in your back site, your back office, or your front office, you won't get paid for those because you're not active. Company says as long as you're active, we'll pay you commissions. Also, if you're not active, you can possibly lose the volume that you have gained over a period of time. So our company says, listen, in order to stay active, you just need a minimal order of 40 PV. And if you go to your back office, you can see the different products. You'll see the personal volume that's next to each one of those. But let me caution you, and this is how I explain this to my new distributors. 40 PV is the minimum. It's the minimum. And one of the things that I truly believe is that you can't get the maximums doing the minimums. So as we work together, new business owner, one of my first goals is to help you, first of all, become binary qualified as soon as possible. Then our next goal is to help you become director, to become a director. And we want to do that as fast as possible. And in order to become a director in the company, and that's our first goal, remember, the company says that you need to be at an 80 PV order. Why does the order need to be higher? Because you're going to position yourself now to make more money. So that's our first goal to do that. Let's go ahead and set that first month's auto ship at 80 PV. Okay? We're going to be shooting for director already, so let's make sure that we're in alignment with that so we don't have any glitches. Okay? And one of the beautiful things about the auto ship is you can change it every month. If you've noticed, a lot of people love the tea. So when I first got involved, I wasn't sure how the tea was going to be taken. So I put an auto ship together of maybe 10 every single month. And then I noticed I needed like 30, 40 every month. Between selling and sampling, the tea was going like hotcakes. So I was able to readjust my auto ship. And you'll be able to do the same exact thing. So you want to make sure you take some time. And a lot of distributors end up going past the auto ship part. You want to explain what auto ship is, and don't go past that because you set your new person up for failure. And I remember there was a gentleman that I brought on board, and I set his auto ship up with him, and he went back and took his auto ship off. He said, I'll remember to do it every single month. And the gentleman had well over $80,000 in volume in his back office. And 1 month, he forgot to do he forgot to place an order. He forgot to place an order, and all of that volume flushed. Auto ship ensures that when the mind forgets, that the company's auto ship does it, and it keeps you active all the time. So you want to make sure that you talk about that, okay? The next step we want people to do is we want people to plug into the system. We want them to go to www.teamngd.com. NGD stands for newglobaldynasty.com. We want them to register. We want them to download and print their Dare to Dream. And the 4 steps are part of the Dare to Dream. The Dare to Dream breaks it down into more length, more detail. We want them to make sure that they print out the compensation plan so they can understand how they're getting paid and how to write their own paycheck, how to increase their own paycheck. We want to make sure that they have these sources, okay? So make sure you help a person get plugged in and take time with a new distributor to teach them these things. One of the things that I'm a true believer on is helping distributors become independent, not dependent. You see, you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. And the more knowledge, the more independent I can help you become, I can actually create walkaway income. You see, everybody got involved in this business to do something. Whatever your why is, whether it's your children, your parents, your spouse, whatever it is, I want a person to be able to do that in spite of me, not because of me. So if I don't teach a person how to print out the compensation plan, if I don't teach a person where to go to get the Dare to Dream, it means every time they have a question, they have to call me. And again, it's not that I don't want to be here to help them, because I am. We're in business as partners. But I want them to be independent, to know where to get the information in spite of me. So if I'm not in the picture, they can still continue to grow. So you want to make sure that you plug them in, make sure they know where to get their tools. Also, they're going to get a new distributor kit. This new distributor kit, I've been in this industry for 20-plus years. I've seen distributor kits. I've never seen one that gives the value that ours gives. There is a slew of information in there to help you become successful. Brochures, magazines. There's so much in there, but there's so much personal development that's packed into that little kit to help you become the leader that you're going to need to become in order to have success in this industry. And one of the things that's in that kit that I suggest every new distributor to listen to is a CD by Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn, and it's called Building Your Network Marketing Business. For the next 30 days, you want to listen to that over and over again. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. How come you can know the words to your favorite song and you really haven't sat down to study them? Because you've listened to it over and over and over again. And you want to take that same type of mindset as you're building a business and say, listen, it's going to be a different train of thought. I'm going to have to understand some different things. I'm going to come up against some different challenges that I've ever come up against. And when you hear somebody else explaining it to you and preparing you, you're a lot better able to handle those things. So if you haven't gotten your kit yet, you want to go to YouTube. You want to pull that up and just have it playing in the background. Sit down and just take some notes and listen to how Jim Rohn explains his journey through the industry and some of the things that you'll go through, and I guarantee you will benefit from that. Okay, so that's step number one. And my suggestion, never skip a step. When you skip a step, you change the outcome. Think about this. Think about you're creating a cake, right? And you don't put the flour in. You don't put the sugar in. Let's go back to McDonald's. You know, the Big Mac is an all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. I know I just showed my age on that one, but that's what a Big Mac is, right? And when you don't put the special sauce on or you don't put the sesame seed bun, you change that Big Mac. You change the outcome. So, again, become system dependent that you do every single step. That's step number one. Let's talk about step number two, which is building a list of contacts. And, again, our job, all the leaders that you'll ever hear present on these calls and share with you are only sharing their wisdom with you. Again, mentorship is wisdom without waiting. So this step is a crucial part of you building your business, and it's to build a list of contacts. That's your homework assignment. If you go to teamngd.com, if you go and you look for the forms, there's something called a BAM-FAM tracking form. And BAM-FAM is an acronym for book of a meeting from a meeting, okay? Book a meeting from a meeting. And what you want to do is you want to print that off, and you want to make a couple copies, and you want to start putting together your list of contacts. Now, this is something I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to share another story with you in a few minutes. You want to write down everybody on that list. Everybody. So I don't want you to prejudge anybody. I don't want you to think about who will or won't. That's not your job. Your job is to write down everybody that you know. And again, I want you to create this condition in your mind to win. I want you to think about it like this. I want you to think about that you had a homework assignment, okay? And for every name that you put down, you're going to receive $100. It doesn't matter what you think about them. Just everybody you know, if you could put down their name and phone number, I'm going to give you $100. You see, I guarantee you from that analogy, you're going to write down everybody that you know. And for the individuals that are saying, listen, you know, I really don't know if I want to do this. I've done this once before. I've shared other opportunities with people before. Let me share this with you. If you do not do it, if you don't share the opportunity with your friends and family members, somebody else will. And I want you to think about it like this. 24 hours, this should be done. If it's Saturday at 11:27 and your boss calls you, says, Ms. Galera, apologize for bothering you on Saturday at 11:30. I know you're with your family, but I just need to let you know that our bosses are coming into town on Monday. The big dogs are coming in. And what they're going to need from everybody is a list of 100 names and numbers. Now, Ms. Galera, I know you're with your daughter right now, and I know you guys are getting ready to go to the mall. I hate to interrupt you, but I need to let you know, if you choose not to do this, you might not have a job come Monday morning. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get upset. You might even say some things to yourself, but you're going to get that list done for Monday morning. No excuses whatsoever. So when it comes to yourself, guys, I'm telling you, this is a crucial part. I'm going to connect it later on to show you how it plays into even furthering your business, okay? So 100 names and numbers, 50 people that you choose to lose, maybe 50 people that you think, could use a little bit off the midsection, or you've heard talk about losing weight, right? 50 people who you know are health conscious and talked about detoxing. Put 50 people's names down. And then put down 50 people who you know are business-minded. 50 people who you know every time they touch something, it turns to gold. The successful-minded people. Those are people that you want to put down. And as you're writing this list, I'm telling you, put down everybody, because the people you think will do it won't, and the ones you think won't do it will. I had a new distributor that came on board and very, very new to the industry. And as they were posting things, people were commenting back, and several people even saw the before and after pictures and were buying product. And one thing this person noticed, that some of their best friends weren't commenting, right? The people you think will won't, the ones you think won't will. So not only were they not commenting, one of the friends actually started posting that they just purchased a weight loss package from another company, knowing very well that their friend was in the business. The ones you think will won't. And then another one of their friends who had never, ever even been involved in network marketing, never thought about it, joined another company. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to think about individuals that you're going to go to right away, and you're going to find some of those folks won't even support you, and that's okay. But what you're also going to find is some of those folks that are on that list that you might have second-guessed, those are going to be the ones that are going to join your business. So the analogy of the story is just put down everybody. On Team NGD, we have what we call a memory jogger, and it's just a list of different occupations to jog your memory of people that you've met years ago, so you can write that down on your list. Your network is directly linked to your net worth. The more people you know, the more you can make. The more people you put down on the list, the more people you have to expose. And your only job is to expose people in this industry. Okay? So in our Dare to Dream packet, you're going to have a quick retail script, which is going to give you a script to use when you call your friends and family members to ask for their support. We're also going to have what we call a peak interest, show the plan, three-way call script in there as well to teach you how to pique people's interest, how to get them to take a look at the information, and how to get the support of your upline to help you. We have a way to do that. And also a contact and inviting documentation script to help you invite people out to the business or take a look at the business. We have the tools that you need to become successful. But when you skip this step, you skip the outcome. And when you skip this step, you actually hinder your sponsor's ability to help you go on and build your business. So if you haven't done it, one of the beautiful things about this industry is that today you can make a decision. You know what? I haven't done this, and I have to be honest with myself. I haven't gotten together a list of 100 names and numbers, but I'm going to do it today. And I just implore you to do that today. And I want you to write this down as you're writing step number 2. Write this, skip a couple lines and write this in bold letters. My team will do what I do, not what I say. My team will do what I do, not what I say. At any point in time, at any place, I keep a briefcase with me. And in that briefcase, I have my list of names and numbers. So at any point in time, if a distributor, if one of the upline asks me, I have those documents right there. Because I never know when, let's say I'm sitting down in a coaching session where somewhere and one of the upline wants to sit down with me and wants to go through my list, and I don't have it. Then I missed that opportunity, right? So get that list done. And one of the things about this, when you do the activity, you're more prone to share it with your organization. The reason I can go through these 4 steps, the reason I can talk about them, the reason I can have passion about them, because I've done every one of these steps over and over and over again. But when you don't do one of the steps, when you don't do your list of 100 names and numbers, guess what? There's something in you that gets convicted. And when you're sitting down with your team, sometimes you're not going to talk about it. You're not going to hold them accountable to it because you know you didn't do it yourself. So now you start to duplicate this throughout your organization, 3, 4, 5 levels deep, and guess what happens? The brakes are going on in your organization. So build your business by making sure you're doing all these steps and build that list of contacts, okay? Step number 2. Step number 3, it's time to build your business. It's time to start to put your business in momentum. Again, having people come on your team, that's one of the easiest parts. We have an incredible compensation plan. We have incredible products. But what do you do after you get them into business? That's going to be the next key, okay? What are you going to do after you have them come into the business? We say in this industry, you get them in, you keep them in, and then you move them along, okay? You get them in, which means they come into the business. You keep them in by getting a paycheck, and then you move them along. But if you can't move them along, what you'll find is that people will come into your business, and your business will sit there, or you might have ones or twosies coming in, and this is the way you create momentum. So let's talk about building your business. What do you want to do? What's the first activity you want to do when it comes to building your business? And the first thing you want to do when you have a new person come on board, in step number 3, you want to do welcome calls. So as you're sitting there with your new person, do those welcome calls. I personally like to do this step as soon as a person comes on board. I have them right there. I want to set that momentum. So whether you do it in step number 3, that's okay. I like to get this done right away. When I have a new person that comes on board, I want to connect them with up to 3 people that are part of their upline support. Again, in order for me to set my business up so that my business can grow in spite of me, God forbid, ever one day I'm not feeling well, I might have the flu, I'm not able to build my business can continue to grow. So I want to plug my new person into my upline by doing welcome calls. And welcome calls are a very, very huge part of your business. So what's going to happen in a welcome call? Well, in a welcome call, I'm going to call my upline support system. I'm going to introduce my new distributor and allow the upline support system to welcome them to the team. Now, I want you to write down these several steps in a welcome call. A welcome call should take 3 to 5 minutes. It's not a training session. It shouldn't take 15 minutes. It's not to start to go into breaking down what's in the tea. It's just a welcome call, okay? And remember that if your new distributor just brought somebody on, or your seasoned distributor brought somebody on, and they're doing that welcome call, they have to do 3 of those. So if yours is 20 minutes, that's already 20 minutes. And if another person does one for 20 minutes, that's 40 minutes. Hey, 3 to 5 minutes. And this is what you want to say if you're asked to do a welcome call, okay? When you have the person on and you're welcoming them, the first thing you want to do is welcome them to the team and welcome them to the family. That's the first thing. So our welcome call should have, again, that system, that flow, that sense of universality, okay? So you want to welcome them to the team and welcome them to the family. The second thing you want to do is you want to edify their sponsor. So whoever their sponsor is, you want to edify them. Perfect example. I'm on the phone. Miss Aileen Galera calls me. She says, hey, Mr. Smith, I have a new distributor. Can you welcome them to the team and to the family? So, of course, I say, absolutely. She gets me on the phone. The first thing I did with this new person is said hello, and I say something to the effect of, Miss Galera, share with me that we have a new team member. Is that correct? That person says yes. I say, I'm going to welcome you. I want to welcome you to the team, and more importantly, welcome you to the family. And then I'm quiet because most people are going to say thank you. They're going to be excited. You're going to hear the smile in their voice, okay? I'm going to go into the second aspect. I'm going to edify Miss Galera. Let me tell you something. Miss Galera doesn't say a lot about herself, but you have an incredible, incredible sponsor. And I'm going to talk about some of her accomplishments and the type of person she is so that this new person feels confident and comfortable that they've made the right choice with the right person, okay? The third part of the welcome call is I'm going to edify the system. We always want that new person to hear the system, the system, the system. So I'm going to edify the 4 steps. So after I've edified Ms. Galera, I'm saying, I'm sure Ms. Galera, has told you or is going to tell you about our incredible four-step system. This four-step system has created success for countless people for countless years, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just plug into that four-step system, and you can have the same success. So they're hearing it from Ms. Galera. They're hearing it from 2 to 3 welcome calls. So again, faith comes by hearing, right? So they're hearing about the system. They're more prone to stay into the system. And then the last part of that welcome call, again, is to welcome them to the team and welcome them to the family. Sometimes it's, you might find yourself where they're a little talkative and you want to ask them a little bit about themselves, where they come from, and then exchange information with them and get off the phone. That's a welcome call. It creates synergy. Most people that get involved in a business are never welcomed. They don't know who their upline support is. As matter of fact, on some of the materials that I've seen from other companies, it suggests that you just call your upline, introduce yourself. Well, some people, it's hard to do that. And when you're working with somebody or when you walk into a room and someone introduces you to a person, it just makes it more natural. So make sure you're doing these welcome calls. And on these welcome calls, make sure your upline support is exchanging the numbers so that way that person, if they can't get in touch with you, they can call somebody to get support. Okay? That's going to be huge. This next thing you want to do, you want to get out your calendar. And it's time to start booking some income-producing activity. Okay? So if you're in a situation where a new person comes on board and you can't go through these 4 steps right away, then you want to get out your calendar and make time to do that. Make time to spend with your new distributor to go through these 4 steps with them. One of the things that I like to do if somebody comes on board and they're maybe a couple towns away or if they're in another state, again, I send them right to www.teamngd.com. I've had people that have come on board at 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night, and they're tired. So the next day, they might want to get up, they have a little time with their family, but they can get on the computer. They can watch a video of these 4 steps. Again, leveraging my time. But you want to make sure you're planning to schedule time with your new distributor to go through this information because you want to start setting goals. You want to start setting activity, okay? One of the biggest things I suggest everybody sets in their business is what we call VGOs, which are virtual grand openings. I mean, we're in an era nowadays where people have literally built huge organizations right from the comfort of their home. And all a VGO is, a virtual grand opening is an opportunity for you to invite your friends and family members. Well, who am I inviting? Let's go back to step number 2. Remember that list of 100 names and numbers? We're going to use that list to contact and invite people to take a look at your grand opening of your business. It's going to be done through a conference call like this. Your sponsor is also going to have a virtual, they're going to have a webinar just like you're seeing right now so a person can hear and see the information. And that's how we're going to build your business. Okay? So the virtual grand opening, you want to get your calendar out and you want to set that with your new distributor. And usually what I do, and I want you to write this down, when you're working with a new person, and sometimes you'll get some reluctancy, you'll get some kickback on this, but you say to a person, what day works better for you, the beginning, the middle, or the end of the week? The beginning of the week works better. What works better for you, Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday works better. I look at my calendar, and whatever slot I have on Tuesday, I put that person in for their first grand opening, their virtual grand opening. Okay? So you want to set at least one of those and 3 launch calls. And all we're doing is we're massively exposing the people that you have. This creates momentum. Okay? Some people have not had the type of success they want to have with that, maybe in another company, maybe with, you had one before that just didn't work well, but I'm telling you, if you continue to plug away, if you continue to understand the formula that your sponsor is going to talk about with you, about 20, 10, 5, 1,000, getting 20 confirmations that they will attend your VGO or launch call, 10 people will show up, 5 people will usually come on board or become customers, giving you 1,000 in volume. 2 qualified VGOs, 2 qualified launch calls makes you a director right there. And all we're using is those 100 names and contacts that you initially did in your homework. Remember in the beginning I said that momentum is the easiest thing to lose and the hardest thing to gain. This is how you create momentum. Now I need you to think about this. You've come on board. You're plugged in. You're staying committed. You're staying coachable and teachable. Your sponsor says, hey, listen, we're going to do your first launch call. You say, absolutely, sir, ma'am. What do I need to do? They work with you. They teach you how to contact and invite. You contact and invite 20 people that say they're going to come to your call. Out of those 20, let's say 10 show up. Out of those 10 that show up, let's say 5 do come on board. What are we going to do with those 5 people that come on board? We're going to teach them these 4 steps. And when we get to step number 3, guess what each 5 of those people are going to do? They're going to do launch calls and VGOs. So what are they going to do? They're going to do the same thing you did. That list of contacts they're going to create. We're going to create these VGOs where your upline support system is going to help you do these. And let's just say out of those 5 people, 2 of them get it right, and they go director, right? They create $1,000 in volume on the left and the right, which is $2,000 in volume for each one, $4,000 in volume for 2 people. They bring on 5 individuals. What are we going to do? That's when you start creating momentum. And then what happens is your organization starts to get to a point where they know what to do in spite of you. So people are coming on board. They're doing the 4 steps. They're creating the VGOs by getting out their calendars and booking the activity. Then you start to see growth happening without you having to even be there because people understand the system. You also want to schedule your wow party within the first 7 to 10 days. Again, this is just having individuals come into your house, another way to expose people to the business to create momentum in sales and new people coming on board. Please understand when I tell you that it's easier to do this step right here, step number 3, than do sit-downs and one-on-ones with every person. You see, a VGO, I can have 20 people on there. If I do one-on-ones, how long is it going to take you to get in front of 20 people? Miss Anna Quintera out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, in her first 6 months in this business, created over $250,000 in income for herself and her family, and all she did was get it through the internet. She did countless VGOs. Miss Stormy Wellington, when she first got started, was broke. She didn't have the money to travel around. What did she do? She did conference calls every single day. And the leaders that I've seen that have exploded in this business, that explode in this industry, they do massive VGOs and conference calls where they understand I can get a great amount of people to hear the information at once. You see, amateurs launch a business. Amateurs start a business, and professionals launch the business. Amateurs start the business. Starting it means one-on-one, here by here, but professionals understand that launching it is where the momentum is created, and this is how you launch a business. So I want to stay on there just for a little bit of time because I know there's some individuals that are a little reluctant to ask a friend or family member to come on board, or they might have talked to somebody in the past. Well, if you don't talk to them, somebody's going to, and let me give you another story. Last night I was given a call by Alex and Maritza out of Maryland, and they had an individual that wanted to come on board, and that individual that came on board had been exposed to this business by somebody else. They were given the tea by somebody else, but that somebody else never followed up, so that when Alex spoke with this individual, she had already had knowledge about the business, had already done research about the business, and she made the comment that, hey, I want to do that business. So because somebody else exposed her, right, they did the homework, and he was able to bring her on board. So again, if you're not getting the information out to the people, I guarantee you somebody else will. And one of the worst feelings is to be on a conference call or to walk into a big event, to look at the back of somebody's head and you know that's your cousin sitting right over there in somebody else's business, okay? So the moral of the story is building your business with an explosion is what you want to do. Okay? And let's go right into step number 4, which is plug into the system now. We have calls that take place like this every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. You're going to spend about 50 minutes on the phone, again, hearing the information over and over and over again until you can actually go out here and teach this to your organization. You're going to hear different perspectives from different leaders on these 4 steps. They're still going to be the same 4 steps, but you might hear something a little different. You might take something away from somebody a little differently. So you want to make sure that you're on this call, but more importantly, that your team is on this call. You see, when you talk about the 4 steps and they hear the 4 steps from another leader on the call, it just cements it more in their mind that they need to listen to the 4 steps. Also, when your team is on these calls and on the webinar and they see that you're on here also, it validates again that they need to stay plugged into the system. Every Sunday night at 9 o'clock, we have our Vision Mastery Call where you hear from different individuals, different leaders, just how to have success in this industry. You've heard it said over and over again, you have progress training and process training. And sometimes you need to understand the philosophies behind the process of doing what you need to do to become successful. Anybody can say go out and do a 3-way call, but what is a 3-way call? How do you effectively do a 3-way call? You can hear all day long, go out and prospect people, but how do I effectively prospect people? How do I give a sample? What information should I be getting back when I give that sample away? These are the type of things that you're going to hear on the calls and help you have success. Okay, so you want to make sure you're plugged into the calls. If there's a function like a Super Saturday function or a weekly meeting that's taking place in your area, you want to make sure you get plugged into that energy, that you get around that success group, okay? Annual conventions, anything that's taking place with the company, you want to make sure that you're staying plugged into the information, staying plugged into the people that are having success. These are the 4 steps that we've been using for years. I challenge you to try them. I challenge you for the next 90 days to stay committed to these 4 steps, to teach these 4 steps, to make sure every Saturday morning you and your organization are on these calls taking copious notes, and I guarantee you'll start to see a momentum in your organization that you couldn't stop if you wanted to. So we have a few more minutes before we close the call. What I want to do is open up the call to any of the leaders that are on the back line, anybody that has any questions or comments about the 4-step training. Anybody have any questions or comments? Not sure if Ms. Galera, if you can open up the line.
Yes, sir. Mr. Smith, thank you very much. I was talking. I was muted out. Wonderful, incredible training, and thank you for bringing us back to the basic. This is very, very duplicatable, and that's what this training is all about. We do what duplicates, not what works. So it's incredible training, sir. Thank you very much. So let me open up the line. Please hold on.
Good stuff. Appreciate you so much, Ms. Galera, and appreciate all that you do for the organization. And definitely want to open up the call real quick for any questions, any comments that anybody might have. Just press *6 on your phone. Going once. Going twice. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully I've done my job today by giving... Oh, absolutely. Is that Ms. Coleman?
Yes, I was trying to mute my line. Sorry.
Good stuff. Take it away, ma'am.
Thank you for such a great training today. I know that we'll see more rank moving up this week. I know I plan on getting director, working it hard. And thank you so much again for a great training. Back to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, ma'am. And I appreciate you for always being plugged in. You're always on every call, always taking copious notes, always just giving that positive feedback. And I appreciate you so well. And I know for a fact that director's done for you, ma'am. So thank you so much. Anybody else before we close the call? Well, good stuff. Again, it's been my pleasure to be on the call with each and every one of you. I hope that you receive value from today's call. Again, leaders on the call, and everybody's a leader, right? Make sure we're taking those notes, studying them, and implementing the notes all throughout your organization. This has been Walter A. Smith IV. Let's get on social media. Let's post. Let's make sure we blow it up and let everybody know that we're plugged into the system, guys. And if you need anything, connect with me on social media. I'm here to help each and every one of you. Everybody have an incredible, incredible Saturday. For all my weekend warriors, let's go out here. Let's get it done. Take care. Take charge. More importantly, God bless. Have a good evening.